So just got to the gym, and I figure I'm gonna mix up some pre-workout, and was thinking about this thought. Figure I'd throw it on YouTube. Why not? Maybe other people are seeing the same thing. I've been calling it the Millennial Dilemma. It's been something that's been in my head for a few weeks now, and I'm about to be 30, so I have friends around my age, friends who are younger than me, and just kind of seeing what they're going through, listening to what they're saying, and even on the news, just people blaming everything and everybody. And I think everybody's trying to figure a way how to make this all work and make this all try to get to their goals. And I feel like millennials are in this crazy position where we'll talk housing. The housing prices have just gone straight up. Interest rates have gone straight up, so affordability is kind of non-existent for a lot of people right now. Rent has continued to go up. Our unemployment rate's going up. School, it's so expensive to go to school, and I think I'm seeing so many people realize that there's a sacrifice. So where do I sacrifice? You want everything. You're seeing people on Instagram and these machines that are pumped out to show people and show everybody these highlight reels that people are having. So you're seeing people our age go on trips and vacations and have kids and get married, and sometimes we're looking at them like, how can you afford that? And that's what I'm seeing. It's that there's this thing in people's heads where they're seeing things that are different than what they are able to do themselves. The dilemma is we want to do everything. We want to be able to buy a house. We don't want to be renting forever. But we also realize that some of us have student loans. Some of us, just the money we're making isn't enough to do stuff. So that's my idea of the Millennial Dilemma: is you want something, but you're seeing your life and not understanding, hey, my parents were able to buy a house by the time they were 20. By the time they were 30, they already had 2 or 3 kids. And we're looking at how the world is structured right now, and we're saying this is not what we expected. And I think there's no real good answer, and I think the people in this age group, my age group, millennials, are just trying to figure it out. I think we're in between wanting to enjoy our lives, the whole YOLO thing, but also wanting to prepare for the future. And it's that crossroads in the middle that everybody's debating. And I'm watching my friends, and even me, I've gone on a few vacations this year. I actually counted within the last 365, I've been to 10 countries/states. And I don't know, I think for me it's a little different, which I can tell my story is, I'll do a quick version of it, is I kind of got into understanding financial literacy, which I think is one of the one things that's not taught, people don't understand. So I got into it about in 21, and I started reading. And the first book that everybody says is Rich Dad Poor Dad, which is the same one I started with. And from there it was just devouring information, devouring YouTube, learning as much as I can. And during the crisis in 2020, I turned the gas on, and I was working side jobs. I did concrete and was grinding out concrete, and I also worked another job, and I worked at a jail and was grinding out the overtime when I had that as well, and dumping all my money in the stock market. And then I used that money to buy a property, my first property, which I bought in Thunder Bay, just a little single family, attached single family. I guess you wouldn't even call that half a duplex, I guess you'd call that maybe, but in Canada it is a single family residence. And was able to buy that, and I was cash flowing like $600 a month, and I have student loans, so I kind of just used that to pay my student loans. And then through that, I kind of kept learning, and moved to the States, where I am now in Minnesota. And now I'm, within the year, I got myself a property here, a duplex, and I'm house hacking that and kind of dropping my living expenses. But I think because I was able to get into financial literacy or understand financial literacy, understand that, hey, I need to save more than I make. Hey, I need to make, if I can, increase my income so I can continue saving, continue investing. Because of that, I'm in an okay position compared to a lot of people who aren't like that, who are a little younger maybe, who are just getting out of school and the economy has changed. And I think they're looking at people and saying, how can they do these things? How are they able to, again, go on vacations? How are they able to buy new cars? And another thing I'm learning and realizing that is a lot of these people who you're seeing do these things actually can't do them or shouldn't be doing them. They have boatloads of credit card debt. They are borrowing money, or maybe their family situation is different. So what I think, it is hard as a younger person to see what you, and to get to an age where you thought you'd be somewhere different and now you're not there. You think you'd have kids, you think you'd have a house, you think you'd be married and all these things, but the finances is holding you back. And I think that is the dilemma. And it's, you want it all as humans, but one thing we have to learn and we have to take a step back and look at is, you have to make sacrifices at different times. So when I was grinding and working 3 jobs, grinding out the overtime, then going on weekends doing concrete, like, that's what allowed me to get to this place. And I think everybody envies the stuff that you're able to get when you get it, but they don't envy the work that you had to put in to get there. And I think that's the one part of people our age who, because they want to have fun and they want to be flashy and create this highlight reel, they're missing out on the work. They're missing out on, you need to put the work in to get to where you want to be. Where when they look at Instagram and they just see people where they want to be, they're like, oh, I just want to be there. But they're missing the start, the start that people don't show on Instagram. The start that, hey, this person was working 16-hour days and sleeping for 8 hours and getting back on it. And I think that's the story that we miss out on so much as younger people when we're looking at these highlight reels, is that it's studying, it's reading, it's waking up early, it's going to bed early, it's really optimizing your life now so that you can enjoy it later. And I don't know, it's very hard to learn that, because most parents aren't going to tell you that. Most people are going to say balance. You need to have a balanced life. Oh, you're working too hard. People will add their 2 cents in your life and not realize, if you're someone who's trying to get to a goal, there's no such thing as balance, right? There's going to be a season that you're going to need to grind. You're going to need to put in more work than everybody else so that you can live like they can in the future. And I'm not saying I'm there by any means, because I'm still trying to grind ideas, trying to think of stuff, ways that you can create more income in your life, create more investment, create more opportunity. But I think it's taking a step back and looking and understanding that as a millennial, as a Gen Xer, as a whatever, there are people grinding. And if you're not one of those people, you need to put the you need to turn the gas on. You need to sit down and not go out every weekend. Read more books. Meet people who are older than you who understand stuff. Ask them questions, because one of the best ways I've seen and I've understood how to kind of skip through hurdles is talking to other people who've already been there, so you don't have to make the same mistakes as them. And even so, real estate right now, one question I love to ask, especially when real estate is really hard, because I only got 3 units, but I'm on my way to more, but it's hard. And numerous people my friends who have 25 plus units, 50 plus units, the one thing they say is the first 5 years is the hardest. And after the first 5 years, it kind of gets easier. It's like pushing a snowball up a hill. Once you get to the top of the hill, you can kind of let it roll. But it's that first 5 years that actually makes the next 5 years easy, and you have to put in the work at the first 5 years. So, yep, there's a millennial dilemma. There's a dilemma that I'm seeing people my age go through in their own heads. But what the reason that is because they're unable to differentiate the finish line from the start. And I think everybody thinks they deserve to be at the finish line, when it's like, man, you didn't start. You didn't start. Maybe you gave up, maybe you quit. I've done it too, but I'm not quitting on my goal. I'm grinding right now, and maybe I'll try this thing and it doesn't work. Maybe I'll try this thing and it doesn't work. It doesn't matter. You're not a failure. You've learned. It's not an L, it's a lesson. And if you take that lesson and you push it on for the rest of your life, that first 5 years, again, it's going to be hard. But take the L, learn from it, and keep going. So that's just what I was thinking about today, and just had to get it off my head. The grind doesn't stop, and especially when you're younger, that's when you should be putting the gas on. So yeah.